Okay, welcome back. What I'm going to try and achieve today is to paint up these 12 Balearic Slingers. So it's going to be 2 units of 6, and I'll show you them in more detail in a moment. Last night, after I finished the video, I continued some painting. So I did the all the spears and all the flesh for the cavalry, and that's a better shot we can get them all in. The yellow commander for the Greek light cavalry, he actually he turned out all right. I'm quite happy with him. The only my problem is there's not a lot of differentiation between the colour of the horse and then the lion skin, but we can work on that. So the horses are almost there. They will get finished tonight, I should imagine. In keeping with my Seleucid cavalry, I've gone for the Space Wolf grey on the sort of linen cuirass, and then I'll pick out the very bottoms just to make them stand out. And then I did a lot of work on the Thessalian light cavalry tunics. Horses did all the manes and the tails. Just keep it all black for simplicity. Yes, that's it. And now I'm going to do the Balearic Slingers. So I'll just quickly get onto my orange spot, try and zoom in. And away we go. So another thing I like about the Victrix models is how variable they are. Most of them come as complete torsos, so the head, you get loads of head options. Most kits give you the options to deviate away from what the box is meant to be, but you can have them in all sorts of styles. I watched a review somewhere with that video that the slingshot was unleashed underhand. So I've got a couple of underhand, some overhand, and then some loading, which is pretty good. The box says that let's start painting whilst I'm talking. Mediterranean, so darker than the Guilliman, so that's going to be our Fire Slayer flesh contrast. Yeah, the box work says that when the Carthaginians came across to the Balearic Islands, I don't want to say the word savages, but they were quite feral, I suppose is a good word to use. And so the Carthaginians introduced them to sort of the classical age clothing, dress, trade and all that. So I'll paint these up, see how long it takes. I've only got an hour. I hope well, the video's not going to be an hour because my other one's been uploading for about 10 hours. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. But yeah, so colour wise, very bland, no real need to use the bright colours, so it'll be a lot of the beige and the light browns, which I've been using throughout anyway, so that's fine. Balearic Slingers with the rules of the marksman special rule, which is quite nice. Can be used for the Iberians, the Carthaginians, the Romans, so they get played quite a lot. And as I said previously, it's going to be a unit that needs to be unlocked before you can really use it. I think. I know in Rome Total War the Carthaginians start with the Balearic Islands, but I'm going to strip it right back, just to like a province per faction really, which isn't ideal for me actually, thinking about it, because it means I need more playable factions. But we'll cross that bridge. Wicket away. Get in there. Probably open it up so you can see a bit better. So my aim is tonight, oh man, here's another one, I'll have to square him away. My aim is tonight is to get, well, I'm hoping the slingers can get done in the next hour or so. I want to get all the contrast paints done on the cavalry sets, meaning that I only have to do the metals. So that'll probably be a job for over the weekend. And then I need to go in and finish off my Illyrians, and the final touches, literally 1 or 2 bits on my Romans. I just need to get the helmet trim and a few fixings on the segmented armour done. So if I can get everything, like a clear deck if you want, by the end of the weekend, I'll be happy. And then that means next week I can get the Carthaginian cavalry done. So I've got loads of bits from all the sets collected, kept them all, divided them. I probably spent more time snipping off the spare parts and keeping them than I have painting. But well, hopefully it'll be worth it if I can make some decent Carthaginian cavalry. I might fire up Rome Total War this evening, do some research on the units, see what they look like on the game. So yeah, the Carthaginian cavalry next week, and Dacians will be arriving. So I look at the Hail Caesar book, but biblical and classical quite a lot, and I've tabbed up all of the armies that I can make, and I look at this almost daily just to see what else I can do. How can I adapt what I've already got? What armies can they go in? So looking at that, a little cross-reference with Rome Total War, and yeah, and then I get on and see what's available on the internet. But that's where it stands. Everything else that I've ordered, and I'm aware like the COVID has affected things, but I've had really bad experiences with Wayland games, like waiting a couple of months for stuff. Things were selected for me and then unselected. I just got messed around, so I should have already had Spartans and other Greeks and bits, but I had to cancel some orders. But in doing so, I found Farforge Games, and I quite like their website. It tells you what they've got in stock and how much of it, as opposed to Wayland, which is awaiting restock, but I think they just get it from other companies. But they were cheap, but Farforge Games are as cheap, which is good. and they tell you what they've got available, how many, and you get regular emails detailing if it's been picked, selected, or if they are waiting for it. And I don't mind that. I don't mind waiting as long as I know something's been done. And I've got enough to keep me busy anyway, so I'm not in a rush. Ideally, by the end of this year, I will have bought my Roman cavalry and got it painted up, finished. But like I saw yesterday, contrast paints, I was doing 24 horses last night, and it took me at night to get to where I am. If I'm just doing 12, easily done in a day or an evening. So I'm confident I can keep going. And it's nice now, like I said in my previous video, I've spent last night doing the horses and they were all different, so it wasn't repetitive because you're thinking about your colour schemes, what you can do. Now I'm doing slingers, which are completely different models. I'll have Dacians, which are something else again, and then I'll be back into Romans. And I think as long as you don't buy too many Romans at a time to put you off, you can get through them and stay motivated. I mean, I had 6 units to do. I think it took me 5 days, 5 evenings. I hope let's just move this slightly because I'm going to a natural place where I want to paint. Yeah, so end of the year, I want Romans completed as a standalone force. So I want to play. So let's talk Romans. So the Romans, 6 units of legionaries already, 1 unit of Germanic cavalry, 1 unit of slingers, 2 bolt throws. I want to increase that to 9 units of legionaries, so 2 packs more, 40 quid. And then auxiliary, Roman cavalry. And then I have got the Gallic cavalry to go with it. So I'll have 2 units of cavalry. And then you're looking at a force of like 15 models, which is, be happy with that. And get them done before the new year. But if I can get them ordered, I'm confident I can do them quite quickly and to a good tabletop standard. Game wise, I've played it on a 6 foot by 4 foot table with 2 divisions worth of units, 8 to 10 troops, and I didn't particularly like it because you didn't really have the width to outmaneuver, and the depth. Like if you're playing the Romans, I'm happy to advance in a battle line and engage with supporting troops. If I'm playing as the Gauls, then I like to be a bit freer where I can go, and I probably have to include some sort of scenarios, but that's going to, when I sit down and start creating my rules for the campaign I'm generally happy with the rules of the game. I think they're pretty good rules. There's a few little things I change. I'm really bad at this, blocking this out. I hope it don't matter too much, because if you're like me, you'll just be sat doing your painting, concentrating on that and just listening to the background noise, despite the fact I keep going quiet and concentrating. I'll do this guy as well, even though his arm's gone. Trying to keep my fingers out so you can see, but it's not a good position, so I keep shaking. Right, so he's done. And annoyingly, I keep banging on about scabbards. These come with little knives, so I have to deal with that. Right, all the flesh is done. Swig of beer, it's Friday. And then I'm going to start the tunic. So, Skeleton Horde Classic. I'm going to go for the Gross Dunes, which is the line main one. So, a bit yellower. So I'll probably do 3, 3. What else should I go with? I quite like this one, which was the Darko Flesh. I'll start with that for now. Yeah, look at that. I get so messy doing this. I don't know how. Yeah, so I if you don't know how to do it, I had to Google it, I think, but to make a video for YouTube, I do it on my iPhone, and I was aware, like, I had started doing videos just for me to follow my progress, but I quite enjoyed just talking as I'm doing it, so I thought I'd start a channel, and I'm not heavily invested in this, so I might as well share it and people can have a look at what I'm doing. But also, they're not good quality. I haven't got like an introduction. It's not a professional setup, I should say. But it's not really bothered me until I did my rant video, and I looked back on it, and I thought it's not good quality. Very shaky because I'm just holding it by hand. But now I've got my Lightroom, 20 something quid from Amazon, next day delivery. It's got a little mount for my iPhone so it can just sit there. It's got light, so it helps get rid of shadows. And I'm happier doing it, and it allows me to do this. And when I am researching about what unit to get next, or want to know about armies or rules or things like that, then YouTube's the go-to for that. You get some good people who do it, you get some bad people who do it. But if they're putting their content out and people are happy to look at it, then I'm happy to do the same. Right, 3 of them, 3 of them, 3 of them, and 3 of them. So that's going to be a different colour. Yeah, so I do everything on my iPhone, not normally in one take. I've got a tendency to swear quite a lot, so I've had to stop that as much as possible. And then for example, last night was 4 or 5 videos, and then within iPhone you got iMovie, so I go into there, and you can probably do far more on that app than I'm using it for. I generally cut out any mistakes, or like yesterday my battery level came up as under 10% whilst I was recording and I just glanced at the phone and the screen had blurred, so I thought that the whole video would be blurred, so I quickly did it, knocked it off. But no, the video was fine, thankfully. But I was able to cut that out, and then you can stitch your videos together, so it's pretty good. Hour and 20-minute video yesterday took 5 to 10 minutes to save to a format within my iPhone, so one continuous video, and then uploading that to YouTube is painstakingly slow. So with my Wi-Fi on, it goes up to like 11 hours to get one low-level video recorded and loaded onto the channel. On 4G it is under an hour, so that's odd, but we'll see what happens. So it's 3 of them. Skeleton Horde, the go-to. I was doing a bit of research today as well into like what's a good size, or a good amount of models. Let's start that again, shall we? To have a good game of Hail Caesar, how many units per division should you have, and how many divisions? And the typical answer is 4 units, 4 divisions, but I'm going to go above and beyond that. So somebody had made a post about, I can't remember when it was from, their Marian reform Romans fighting against a Carthaginian plus allies army, taken from Trebia, an actual battle that had historical numbers. So that's what he's based his 2 lists off. Come to like 650 points or so each. But he listed the number and quantity of troop type in the actual battle, and then tried to scale it down to get an even representation of units and models. So his final sort of working out, I suppose, was that one of these 28mm models for his battle represented 150 actual people. So from there, using that ratio, if I wanted to do, and I know I've got early Imperial Romans, not Marian, so I'm not using, no, that was the change. As long as I've got Hastati and Principae and Triarii, then I could do, what did Caesar have? I'm going to have to look into that. Caesar. That's just pre-Imperial. Was Marian not Caesar's uncle anyway? So Caesar must have had legions, like as I've got. Maybe not dressed and equipped the same. Probably with chainmail. But anyway, so the Battle of Lycia is maybe like 100,000 Celts. So dividing that by my magic number of 1 to 150, I can work out how many Celts I need for the battle, and then where the Roman force probably, did he go with 3-4 legions, 30,000 men. So divide that 1 to 50, and should have an accurate representation. And that's something I like about Hail Caesar actually, is despite the points, that's not really relevant. You're playing because you enjoy the history behind it. It's not like a power game where you're buying the best units, the best models, having to stay up to date. You're battling the historical odds, so I like that. Right, so that's all the tunics done. Now the slings would probably been leather, so I can do the slings, and then I can have a sack on the side of all of them. So strap, have a sack, sling. So I'm going to work from left to right. I said this yesterday, constantly I'm either missing things or the way it's drying is taking the contrast away. But touch-ups, not a problem. Right, so snakebite leather. Oh no! Always check your lids, that could have been horrendous. But waste not, want not. Right, smaller brush I think. Oh goodness, my hands are covered. I've been painting for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So they've got a mixture of crossed strapping, cross strapping and single straps, which is good. So it should all look. Oh. I really annoy myself. I make more work generally, but like underneath I've missed his tunic because so I'll have to go back and do that. So that's him now with his leather straps on. That'll dry slightly softer. Repeat. What I might do is do all the straps with the small brush. No, I'll just get on with it. I really like what I've been doing, you'll be able to see. At least I've got a, because that will stain the desk, so at least I'll have a nice marker line of to line my camera up with. And these Balearic Slingers will be my second lot of slingers I would have done, with my others being auxiliary, the Romans. So I will probably get in fact I might have a set, yeah I do have a, so third set, because I've got the Greek slingers as well. Have I? Oh, I don't know anymore. So much stuff I need to have a look through. My whole aim though is I don't want to be one of these people who buy and buy and buy and have so much and they never get around to painting it, which that's fine if that's who you are, that's cool, but I literally want it to come through that door and be in a position where I can build, prime and paint almost immediately. So if I keep buying, it's forcing me to keep painting, and I'm happy to do that. And especially this next lockdown, got nothing to do in the evenings. Panic there, I thought I just dipped him in the puddle. And that's another thing. So I don't know if I said yesterday about the Macedonians, which I had to paint. To speed up the process, I got a large pot of what is it? Oh yeah, quick shade. So I was dipping the Macedonians into that, and then leave them to dry 24 hours, and shocking, like goes on so thick, it pulls a little bit, but it doesn't run off that much, and the amount of detail that was obscured by it, I wasn't happy basically, and I've not used it since, and I don't think I would, not for individual models. I might use it for a few other bits like terrain or stuff like that. But we'll wait and see. Haven't found a use for it yet. But paint-wise, I always used to get Citadel paint. Well, wrong. I actually started with the so 2015 we're talking, set of Vallejo game paints, and I've still got the majority of them now. Still work, so that was a good investment. But then, because I did get into 40k, I did buy the Citadel paints. So that grew quite considerably until I found that I didn't actually like 40k that much. I think I joined just before 8th edition was launched. It's on 9th edition now, which I've had a couple of games, and it's alright, but I won't spend money on it anymore. But yeah, then I found Bolt Action, and I then switched all my paints pretty much from Citadel to the dropper bottles from the Army Painter. Yeah, Army Painter generally, and Vallejo, and that was it. That was my go-to. That's what I was using. Prefer the dropper bottles. Bought a wet palette this year, which helped. But yeah, one guy put up a picture of his contrast painted Carthaginians, Gauls, and I was sold. I bought maybe 5 paints. I need to get used to this holding of the model differently, so I'm not blocking the camera with my hand. Yeah, five paints. Tried them out on my Spanish, and yeah, sold. Bought a few more, and then realised I wanted more variety, more colours, especially if I was doing Carthaginians and, you know, all my plans. Yeah, so then I bought my range, and I'm pretty happy. I'll probably buy myself a few more. Don't think I need that many more. Just want to mix it up a little bit. It's a shame there's nothing metallic that can be done as a contrast paint. I don't really know how paint's made or works, but it would be useful. But I can live without it. I was just thinking then what I'm going to do next, because this is the last guy. I've got a lot of mess here and I don't want to waste it all, so I'll probably stop the video after this guy and then try and use up as much of this leather on the cavalry as I can. And go from there. Sorted. So that's all the snakebite leather done. I'll give them the touch-ups once I finish painting all of it. Got to glue that guy's arm on, but there they are. So how long's the video? 40 minutes-ish. All I need to do now, hair, which is going to be black, dark brown. I'll do the, is that in? Yeah. So I'll do the scabbard, or the sheath for the dagger, a contrast paint. And then this belt. So some have got like a studded belt, others have got a studded belt with like some tassels underneath, so I'll do them a different colour, but I'll leave it all to dry now. Come back to them tonight. 40 minutes, so if I'd carried on to do the hair, I'm talking an hour probably to get 12 Balearic Slingers completely painted up. Done. Happy days. So I'm going to stop there, get on with the leather of these guys if I can, and then probably do a video at the end of the weekend showcasing them all done. And I've got my wooden bases off eBay, same shop, quid for 6 of these, 90p for postage and packaging, easy. So I'll get them done. Well, I might use this on some of the horse stuff. Right, cool. See you in the next one.